Hey, it's Josh from JoshLM Finance. Let's talk about credit scores. You've probably heard a million times that your score is important, but let's be real, it can feel like this confusing, frustrating black box, right? Well, today we are going to demystify it for good. We're going to break down exactly what it is, why it matters so much, and most importantly, how to improve it with simple, practical steps. No jargon, no fluff, just what you actually need to know. So if you've ever felt confused by this whole thing, or maybe a little frustrated, or maybe you've just kind of ignored your score completely hoping it would go away, you are in exactly the right place. All right, let's dive in. So first things first, what even is this number? You know, when you strip away all the complicated stuff, it's actually way simpler than you think. It really just boils down to your financial reputation. Think of your credit score like this. It's a 3-digit number that's designed to answer one single question for a lender. How likely are you to pay back the money you borrow? That's it. It's not a judgment on your personality or your life story. It's just a report card on your financial habits. And that 3-digit number almost always runs on a scale from 300 to 850. A 300? Well, that tells a lender you're a huge risk. But an 850? That means you're basically a financial superhero in their eyes. The two main scoring models you're going to hear about are FICO and VantageScore. Now, what's really important to know here is that FICO is the big one. Something like 90% of top lenders use some version of a FICO score. And both FICO and VantageScore, they don't just make this stuff up. They get the raw data, your history, from the three main credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Just to give you a little bit of context, a benchmark, the average FICO score in the US is right around 715. That's considered good. So if your score is in that neighborhood, you're already in a pretty solid position. But hey, there's always room to get even better. Okay, so why should we even care about any of this? This right here is where people really underestimate the power of this number. It has a very, very real-world cost. I want you to picture this. Two people walk into a bank for the exact same loan. They have the same income, same job. But borrower A has a 760 credit score. Borrower B is sitting at a 650. Borrower A gets a much lower interest rate, saving them a ton of money. Borrower B, they might still get the loan, but they'll end up paying thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars more over the life of that loan. It's the same loan, just a different behavior history. Your score literally decides how expensive your life is going to be. And this table here perfectly illustrates how lenders see you. Scores from 800 to 850 are excellent, you get the best rates, period. 740 to 799 is very good, and 670 to 739 is good. If you're in any of these top three tiers, you're generally going to get pretty decent terms. But once you dip down into the fair or poor ranges, well, that's when the system starts charging you a premium for past mistakes. It's cold, I know, but it's honest. All right, so let's pull back the curtain and actually look at how these scores are calculated. This is the part that feels like a big secret, but it's really not. It all comes down to the FICO formula. Okay, look closely because this is probably the most important slide in this entire explainer. Look at this chart. Your payment history, that's 35% of your score. Your credit utilization, that's another 30%. Together, that is 65%, almost 2/3 of your entire score. So if you want to improve your credit, this is where you have to focus. Everything else is secondary. So let's start with the biggest piece of the pie, payment history. This is king. It's a simple yes or no question. Do you pay your bills on time? One single late payment can seriously hurt your score. And multiple late payments? Well, to a lender, that just screams unreliable. Honestly, the best thing you can do for yourself is set up auto pay on everything and just remove all the excuses. All right, next up is credit utilization. This is the sneaky one. It's not about if you pay, it's about how much of your available credit you're using at any given time. Lenders see high balances as a big red flag, a sign of financial stress. And here's a pro tip. Pay your balance down before your statement closing date, not just the due date. That way, a lower balance is what gets reported to the bureaus. The general rule of thumb is to keep your usage below 30% of your limit. And if you can get it under 10%, that's even better. The other 35% of your score is made up of these three smaller factors. Length of history is 15%. The longer you've had credit, the better, because it shows a longer track record. New credit is 10%. Opening up too many new accounts in a short time can look like you're desperate for cash. And credit mix, also 10%, is about having a variety of credit types, like cards and loans. It shows you can handle both. But look, these are important, but they're the icing, not the cake. So a question I get all the time is, hey Josh, why does my score on Credit Karma look different from my bank app, which looks different from somewhere else? And the answer is actually really simple. You don't have just one credit score. You have many. Different scoring models like Vantage Score versus all the different FICO versions, they weigh all this data differently. It's the same underlying data, just viewed through a different lens. That is totally normal. Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. Now for the most important part, how to actually improve your score. Let's shift gears and talk about your action plan. Here are 6 practical steps you can take. Number 1, never miss a payment. Set up those auto pays. This one thing changes everything over time. 2, lower your utilization by paying down those balances. 3, for a little while, just stop applying for new credit, let your profile breathe and age. 4, go check your credit reports for free. Errors happen and they can cost you big time. 5, if you have a trusted, responsible family member, you could ask to become an authorized user on their well-managed card. And 6, use tools like Experian Boost carefully. They can help, but they are not a magic wand. Now, before we wrap up, it's really important we set some realistic expectations here. Improving your credit score takes time and it takes patience. So let's talk about the hard truth, about the timeline. Bad marks, like late payments or collections, they don't just disappear overnight. They can legally stay on your report for up to 7 years. But, and this is the really good news, their impact fades over time, especially as you stock up new positive history on top of them. Credit recovery, it can feel a little slow, a little boring, but it absolutely works. And as always, remember, this is not financial advice. This is education and perspective, designed to help you make smarter decisions for yourself. So here's the bottom line. The one thing I really want you to take away from this. Your credit score isn't a moral judgment of who you are as a person. It's just a behavior report. And the great thing about behavior is that you have the power to change it. And when you change your financial habits, your score will follow. If this explainer was helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button. And be sure to subscribe for more calm, practical money talk just like this. And I'd really love to hear from you in the comments. What part of credit still confuses you? Let me know down below. If this helped you, subscribe to JoshLM Finance. This channel is building a growing library of clear, step-by-step money explainers you can always come back to. Click the video on your screen now. It's the next best breakdown YouTube picked for you to help you make smarter money decisions. And please share this with someone who needs it. I'm Josh, and I'll see you in the next one.